I've seen you somewhere before. right, folks, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for being here to support our students. They've worked really hard to get where they're at. They have achieved quite a bit. This group has had 2 different program directors. This group has had a lot of up and down adversity, and they wound up, all of them, first time pass with the National Registry. So that's a big accomplishment for any program to have your students pass the registry first time, all of them. So they've done really good work. 2 of them aren't with us today. One of them got stuck down in Riverton. The other one is home in Missouri. She's got family with her, and they're supposed to be streaming and watching. So I want to say hello to Jesse and to Megan, and congratulations, you guys, where you're at. I want to go ahead and introduce lead instructor Joshua Chavarria, who is going to bring in Evan Bartell and Sam Miller, our 2 graduates that are being coined today. So I'd like to open us up with a word of prayer for these guys, for their careers. So if you bow your heads with me. Almighty God, Lord, thank you for these gentlemen behind me. Thank you for the 2 that are watching from home. They have chosen a difficult field, one where their others' lives are in their hands. Lord, I pray that you just bless them, bless what they do, be with them as they protect and serve the communities that they're a part of. Amen. Sam, you want to introduce Dr. Bollinger? Introduce Dr. Bollinger.
Okay, I'm going to introduce Dr. Kirk Bollinger, our medical director.
Well, it's a shame that Megan and Jesse, we'll just imagine they're sitting here, but they're watching or streaming, so they can hear our remarks. But I'm Dr. Bollinger. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the current medical director of the Northwest College paramedic program, and I've been an emergency room physician for the last 26 years, and have been the medical director of the EMS at that service. When I was asked to come and speak, I considered it an honor to be asked to address you all on this momentous occasion. Paramedics have a special place in my heart. You guys have my utmost respect. You all have just completed a difficult and rigorous curriculum and have demonstrated excellent competency, and you've earned your paramedic degree. I've likened the curriculum of a paramedic as trying to drink from a fire hydrant. It's very difficult. And when thinking about what to address you all this afternoon, I kept going back to the meaning of what a paramedic is. Para means alongside, and medic means a physician or a medical professional. So paramedics are meant to work alongside physicians, or are considered an extension of the physician that they're working with. EMS is no longer considered a meat wagon or a transport service. As a paramedic, you're now expected to assess the patient and start the appropriate care in the field. Further evaluating the meaning of paramedic brought several other words describing what I feel encompasses what it means to be a paramedic. Number 1, courage. Courage is the ability to do something that frightens you. John Wayne once said, "Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway." Paramedics have difficult and dangerous jobs. You're expected to run towards danger when everyone else is running away. You will find yourself taking care of a patient upside down in a ditch in the middle of a blizzard when it's 20 below. There are risks and sometimes insurmountable challenges. Christopher Reeve, Superman, said, "So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they become inevitable." Remember, it's normal to feel scared. It keeps you alert, it keeps you prepared, and it keeps you alive. Even after 26 years of working in an emergency room before every shift, I am a little nervous, and it's supposed to be that way. If you don't have some fear, something's wrong. Number 2, passion. Passion is a strong and barely controllable emotion. It requires passion to help others, to be a paramedic. You will take care of people who you find undesirable at times, but your passion to help others will keep you focused. If you find paramedic work rewarding, you will find fulfillment at the end of every shift, even the difficult ones. The most powerful form of inspiration is the feeling you get when you're doing what you love. Number 3, perseverance. Perseverance is persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. Thomas Edison, when inventing the light bulb, said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is to always try just one more time. Never give up. Success is earned by those who have failed many times. Remember, those who have never failed have never tried." Winston Churchill said, "Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm." As paramedics, you will have patients die despite doing everything right. It's human nature to fail at some time or another. The important thing to take from failure is knowledge to improve the next time. Determination. Determination is firmness of purpose, resoluteness, steadfastness. George Lorimer, a famous journalist from the Saturday Evening Post, said, "You have to get up every morning with determination if you're going to go to bed with satisfaction." Your successful completion of this demanding paramedic curriculum shows me that you are all determined. Remember, when you put your mind to something and decide that is what you want, then every step towards that goal is a service to yourself and others. Remember your goals and don't waver. Mark Twain said, "The 2 most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you figure out why." Preparedness. Being prepared, made ready for use, organized or equipped. Abraham Lincoln said, if I only had 1 hour to chop down a cherry tree, I would spend the first 45 minutes sharpening my axe. Selecting and successfully completing this paramedic program is your first step in preparation to a fulfilling career. Remember, as an EMT or paramedic, there is nothing more valuable than being prepared. Always ensure your supplies and equipment are well maintained and ready at a moment's notice. You never know when you will have time to prepare next. I love to see in the mornings paramedics cleaning and checking the rigs after every call. In addition, keep your mind prepared with a yearning for knowledge and expert refining of your skills. I know it's hard to think at graduation, but your paramedic education has just started. Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. As paramedics, your knowledge is powerful. Your knowledge gives you the power to save lives. Compassion. Compassion is sympathetic pity and concern for the sufferings or misfortunes of others. Leo Buscaglia, who's an author and popular motivational speaker, said, "Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest accomplishment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around." Remember, a kind presence can change someone's life. Sometimes just caring can make all the difference. One of the best examples I can think of is Kevin Embody, a paramedic most of you know and are familiar with. He's known for being extremely intelligent, strong, and a born leader. I remember one call when he was called to an elderly lady's home for unknown medical. He ended up just making her a sandwich and eating lunch with her. No transport. And I have yet to write the sandwich making protocol. Helping and healing others is the best way to help yourself. Number 7, privileged. Privilege is a special right, advantage, or immunity that's granted or available only to a particular person or group. Kelly Grayson, who's a popular actress, said, "EMTs are privileged to play in life's great game. Too many unlucky people watch the action thunder by, stuck at a desk, or watching it on television at home. As a paramedic, you are not watching life from the front row. You are experiencing life from the front line. You are in the game, taking risks, and achieving amazing results. Remember, there's nothing more valuable, important, or sacred than life. As a paramedic, people are going to place their life in your hands. This trust and empowerment to care for others is a great responsibility and the highest honor." Number 8, professionalism. Having special competence, skills, demonstrating elitism. Michael Jordan said, "Some people want it to happen. Some people wish it to happen. A professional makes it happen." As a paramedic, you are no longer considered an amateur. Those labels on the back and sides of the ambulance that say paramedic, that brings relief to those who call for help. I know Medic Haggart has instilled in you, in your personas, the importance of looking and acting professional at all times that you are wearing the uniform. The details of keeping your uniform clean, in good repair, and displaying your name and qualifications cannot be overstated. One pearl I will tell you that I've lived by is that if I don't know something, I act like I do, and then I figure it out. A paramedic with a professional charisma and appearance goes a long way in making patients calm and confident in their most extreme moments of distress. Number 9, dedication. Dedication is the quality of being committed to a task. Abraham Lincoln said, "Next to creating a life, the finest thing a man can do is save one." No one stumbles into EMS as a career. You have to pursue the role actively while overcoming fears and insecurities. You have accepted the challenge of hard work, long hours, dangerous conditions, and marginal compensation. The noble selflessness of a career spent helping others cannot be overstated. Remember, the good work provides the good your work provides to your patients, your community, and the world continues long after you've ended your shift. There are very few careers that allow you to feel good about your work while leaving an immeasurable mark of goodwill on the world. While dedication is important, it is also important to have a balanced life and not forget about the other important joys of life. Your family, your friends, your interests, your hobbies. EMS and paramedics in particular can consume you to the detriment of yourself and others. Don't forget your life before becoming a paramedic. And number 10, legacy. Legacy is the long-lasting impact a particular event or actions that took place in a person's life. Albert Pike, American author and poet, said, "What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we've done for others and the world remains and is immortal." I often forget how impactful the world of medicine is to patients. Just last week when I was writing this speech in the middle of a busy emergency room shift, a letter was put on my desk. It was a thank you card. It was this one right here. And it read, "Dear Dr. Bollinger, you probably don't remember me, but about a year and a half ago, you had me put in an ambulance for Billings because you were unable to slow down my racing heart. You spoke with my daughter, Dawn, who called from Cape Cod, and you soothed her worried mind. I was in Billings a few weeks, had my heart shocked a couple times, got a pacemaker, and a few other mementos. I believe you saved my life that day. And this And this is a long time coming, but I'm eternally grateful. Thank you. Take care and be safe." I felt flattered, but I was also very sad because I didn't remember her specifically. I had to look up her medical record to remind me of what had happened. But my point is, we leave lasting impressions on patients. And it's very important to remember our impact on their lives. Even though at the time when I saw her, I probably thought, this is just another patient with a racing heart. So an anonymous quote that I always keep in my mind is, "Do your best. One day you will be someone's hero." So remember these words: courage, passion, perseverance, determination, preparedness, privileged, professionalism, dedication, and legacy when thinking of your new title as paramedic. In a few moments, you're going to be receiving a Northwest College Paramedic Challenge coin. I'll show you this. And as your first challenge, I challenge you to live up to these definitions. In closing, while driving home from work the other day, looking at billboards, I thought that we should put a billboard with your faces, taking a play on the quote from the University of Wyoming, with a caption stating, "The world could use a few more great paramedics." Again, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Our next speaker on your program says it is the president of our college, Lisa Watson. She's had some things come up. So to speak to you next would be our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dave Erickson.
Good afternoon. I'm excited to welcome all the family, friends, especially the graduates, both here and on Zoom, to this very special ceremony. Again, I'm Dave Erickson, the Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs. First, I want to extend President Watson's regrets for not being able to attend and be present today. It's these sort of celebrations that are always so special for her and one of her favorites to be in attendance with. I'm delighted to celebrate and congratulate each of you on achieving the milestone as a member of the NWC paramedic class of 2024. Today's coining ceremony is an opportunity to symbolically welcome our newly graduated paramedics into the paramedic profession. History speaks of the Roman Empire, who rewarded soldiers by giving them challenge coins to recognize them for their outstanding achievements. We're excited to recognize your achievement as well. You have committed many hours, days, and months, both in and out of the classroom and in clinicals, to achieve this monumental milestone. But it does not stop there. You are all very special people, and now you are also a paramedic. Still, you would not be where you are today without the care and wisdom of the faculty who have mentored and guided you. Please join me in thanking them for their time and commitment, as they are very special people too. And while we're on the subject of thankfulness, please join me in thanking those who have supported you on this journey. Your family, significant others, children, friends, and peers. They too have provided you with help and encouragement to complete this educational journey. Let's give them a hand as well. As you participate in today's activities, please take a minute just to picture that moment when you said, yes, I can do this. I can be a paramedic. Can you recall that moment? And all of a sudden, now it's come to pass. Here you are about to graduate, and we are all truly proud of you. Years from now, I hope the coin that you receive today will remind you of the determination, the optimism, and perseverance that you brought to the program. I hope it will also represent your drive to carry on and succeed, even in the most difficult of circumstances. This is a momentous and joyous moment, and I wish you all the best, and I congratulate you all on this outstanding achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that speech. I would now like to introduce you guys to Josh Chavarria, affectionately known as Chavi. He is going to introduce our keynote speaker.
So last week I get to introduce our keynote speaker, and last time I got to introduce him I messed up his name. So let me get it correctly this time. First of all, our recovering journalist, Evan Bartell.
I wanted to make sure I didn't grab like the auto insurance policy or something when I was leaving the house. Good afternoon. My name is Evan Bartle, and it is my privilege to address you today as the representative of the 2024 Northwest College Paramedic Cohort. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of the family, friends, coworkers, faculty, and staff who are gathered here. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate today. To my classmates, both here and smiling down on us from the internet, that was a thing and a half, wasn't it? Nobody ever said medic school was going to be easy, but to the extent possible, you guys helped to make it doable and bearable. Through 2 years of labs, clinicals, and our big 2 weeks in Oklahoma City, I can look back and point to numerous moments when I was, in fact, having fun. We made it through together, and nobody trespassed into the ponds. I can't wait to see what we all get up to in the years to come. To our instructors, thank you for the hours put in over 2 years of education. In addition to the expected work of lesson planning and coordinating field experiences, you also had to grapple with a great deal of change at the halfway point of our program. It fell to you to figure out where we were at in our education and what all we had left to cover. Though I'm sure it was not always fun to deal with the persistence of your students, the fact that all 4 of us passed the NREMT on the first shot testifies to not only our hard work, but yours as well. Thank you. To any of you in attendance who served as preceptors for our class, I want to extend special gratitude. There you were, minding your own business, reporting for another day of work, when suddenly you got saddled with one of us for the day, whether you felt like it or not. To you fell a great deal of the responsibility for teaching us what we know. You made the theoretical practical and turned scenes into classrooms. Thank you for your time and your patience. You showed us the medics we want to be. I also want to express thanks to those who have been living in what I call the blast radius of paramedic school. These are the spouses, children, friends, and family who have been dealing with disrupted schedules, frequent travel, and a loved one who has the psychological profile of a hunted animal. Thank you for your patience. We will probably start acting more like humans shortly. When Steve told me I was going to not only be speaking for our class, but also serving as our keynote speaker, I immediately wondered what manner of mass casualty incident had overtaken everyone who was more qualified, but here we are. So fresh from my half-baked medic student brain, here are my thoughts. And in a development that will surprise none of you who have spent much time around me, I'm going to talk about history. The question of how to get the sick and injured to those who can do them the most good is an ancient one. The roots of modern EMS can be seen in many organizations from throughout history and around the world. Some of the closest parallels are seen with the numerous philanthropic charitable organizations that functioned in the metropolitan centers of Europe through the Dark Ages and the Renaissance. They shouldered the burden of caring for and transporting the victims of sickness, plague, and violence. The means of transport might have been a sedan chair, a wheelbarrow, or a shoulder-borne litter that looked suspiciously like a casket. Still, the idea was there. The numerous and vicious wars of the 18th and 19th centuries always resurfaced the ugly question of how to relocate hundreds, if not thousands, of wounded soldiers without rattling them to death on the way. Napoleon's armies were among the first to make use of purpose-designed ambulance wagons and devise a system of classifying casualties for evacuation, known then and now as triage. The Industrial Revolution brought a tremendous influx of people to urban centers, and with them an increased need for medical transport. These people often lived in conditions that were breeding grounds for disease and worked in conditions that were most certainly not OSHA approved. The job of getting the sick and injured to the hospital was taken up by numerous professions. Different cities saw medical residents, nurses, police officers, and firefighters riding the ambulances as each community grappled with how to care for its wounded. It was in the 20th century that EMS would truly come into its own. The early years saw the adoption of the motorized ambulance, and the world wars taught the medical community all it could ever care to know about trauma. The 60s and 70s saw the birth of EMS as we know it today, with national standards for education and a renewed emphasis on getting patients to definitive care quickly. The conflicts of the Cold War demonstrated the utility of air medical transport, spawning a new branch of medicine that remains a lifeline to rural communities like ours. At the same time, paramedic initiatives sprang up across the country. Under the supervision of physicians, they educated providers capable of performing more life-saving interventions in the field. That brings us to today, as EMS works to recover and reinvent after a pandemic that pushed it to its breaking point, and in some cases beyond. Despite all of this history, EMS still remains one of the newest members of the family of medical disciplines. In many ways, it's still trying to decide what it wants to be when it grows up. Today, pre-hospital resources are being used in more ways than ever before, though the focus remains the same, bringing the point of care to the patient. I have not been doing EMS for long in the grand scheme of things. I've only been a licensed provider for about 4 years. Still, in that time, I have formed the impression that EMS is kind of a weird gig. The sickness and injury of others is our bread and butter. Nobody ever sees us because they're having a good day, and for us to get to do the high-speed ALS things that we all wish for at times, someone has to have a very, very bad day. Still, a simple fact remains. We will always be needed, and we're not alone. The bonds that I've formed with coworkers and mentors along the way are enduring, and they help take the sting out of the hard days. As my classmates and I look forward to beginning our time in the field as paramedics, it's fair to say that though our classroom education is behind us, our learning has just begun. If we can carry the persistence and determination that this experience has forged with us, they will serve us well as we serve our patients. To my classmates, I once again say congratulations, and thank you all for joining us today.
The challenge coin has a long, proud history. My father's a veteran. I'm a veteran. Obviously, this concept started with the military. It's meant to congratulate. It's meant to reward, but it's also meant to remind and to give you a sense of ownership. You not only do you belong to your employer as far as your licensure, but you belong to a much larger family of professionals. It also helps with accountability. Obviously, in the military, they're known for the consumption of adult beverages, and if you are caught not in possession of your coin with your unit, that day's rounds are on you. So it teaches you responsibility and just kind of an accountability of make sure it's with you, because it's part of who you are and where you've been. It means something. So I would like Josh to join me as we present these coins and your completion certificates. And proudly, we get to also give you two that are with us today your diplomas. And congratulations on becoming an Associate of Science in Paramedicine. Evan, you're first. Here is your completion certificate. Here is your honors diploma and your coin. Sam, if you want to come on up. Your completion certificate. Also, your honors diploma and your coin. Congratulations.
All right. At this time, we are going to do the paramedic pledge with these guys. So, do we have anything to stand? Just that. I'm getting new to this, so bear with me. So, if I will have Evan, Sam, would you please stand? Megan and Jesse at home, would you please participate as well? This is the paramedic pledge. Repeat after me, please. I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability this pledge.
Swear to fulfill to the best of my abilities this pledge.
That binds together my curiosity, compassion, and humility.
That binds together my curiosity, compassion, and ability.
With my duty as a paramedic.
With my duties as a paramedic.
I recognize that I do not stand alone,
I recognize that I do not stand alone,
but alongside all those who share my professional purpose.
but alongside all those who share my professional purpose.
Together, we walk proudly in the footsteps of those who endured, have developed our profession.
Together we walk with those who have
Endeavored. I'm learning how to read.
proudly in the footsteps
Thank you.
of those whose endeavors have developed our profession.
And yet we remain inquisitive, carving our own path in pursuit of progress towards the betterment and communities we serve.
And yet we remain inquisitive, carving our path
in pursuit of progress towards the betterment of the communities we serve.
Though we are adaptable and operate in autonomy, we do not work in isolation. Conscious that our very name means that we work alongside others.
Though we are
adaptable and operate with autonomy. We do not work in isolation, conscious that our very name means that we work alongside others.
Our complex and austere experiences give us insight.
Our complex and austere experience gives us insight.
Using the wisdom, we do everything reasonable within the boundaries of with what is ethical and lawful to benefit those in our care.
Using this wisdom, we do everything reasonable within the boundaries of what is ethical and lawful to benefit those in our care.
We tread with care in all matters of life,
We tread with care in all matters of life,
including death,
including death,
creating enough proximity to afford empathy, yet preserving enough distance to maintain a professional boundary.
creating enough proximity to afford empathy, yet preserving enough distance to maintain a professional boundary.
We take pride in the privilege of our position.
We take pride in the privilege of our position.
We seek to protect the rights,
We seek to protect the rights,
interests, and dignity of fellow humans because it is our role to advocate for all people.
interests, and dignity of our fellow humans because it is our role to advocate for all people,
Regardless of how their values may differ from our echo or our own.
regardless of how their values may differ from or echo our own.
Although we are altruistic, we also accept our duty to be compassionate to ourselves because we are mindful that the virtues that we strive to uphold may at times weigh heavily upon us.
Although we are altruistic, we also accept our duty to be compassionate to ourselves because we are mindful that the virtues that we strive to uphold may at times weigh heavily upon us.
And if we are true to ourselves and to this pledge,
And if we are true to ourselves and to this pledge,
then let us be known as professions who act with integrity and equanimity. Journalist, what is that word?
equanimity.
Thank you. Equanimity. That one's a hard one. In the fact of challenge and complexity.
And if we are true to ourselves and to this pledge, then let us be known as a profession who act with integrity and equanimity in the face of challenge and complexity.
Our ethos emerged from our experiences,
Our ethos emerged from our experiences,
molded by our curiosity,
is molded by our curiosity,
moderated by our humility, and animated by our compassion.
moderated by our humility, and animated by our compassion. We are paramedics.
Yes, you are.
If everyone will rise with me, I proudly present to you the paramedic graduating class of 2024. We invite you to stay and socialize, and there are some light refreshments in the back. Thank you for being here.